Hi CCIS and anyone who's watching. Today we are going to do our sketchbook. Now, we learned about calligraphy, so just a little heads back. And today we're going to do something kind of different. We're going to be learning about graffiti. Now, graffiti is really fun. There's a super simple way to basically do any kind of graffiti. So let's begin. So I'm going to do art because we're doing art. So you can do print, and you can do however print you want. If you think that, I'm not really good at printing, that's totally okay. My printing's not up to par because I don't want to save my print. Alright, so I got art written in print. Actually, I have a little buddy here helping me out. Her name's Franny. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on the outside and I'm just going to do lines. Kind of like those parallel lines we talk about during class. So I'm just going to go on the outside of my letters. Now you can make them as big or as small, so as far apart or as close to the letters you want. It's all up to you. So I'm going to follow my letters. Now remember, you can use computer paper, I have a sketchbook here. Use whatever art materials you have at home. And I'm going to go on the inside here. Inside of my R. I'm going to leave my T because my T's okay. And don't forget the top of the T. Alright. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be erasing the inside letters. So a really fun fact, if you want to make sure that you completely erase all those letters, right, kind of lightly, so that way it's nice and easy. You're not pressing down so hard on the paper just to erase those letters. Alright, now we're going to get into that graffiti lettering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with that A, and I'm actually going to do kind of a bubble. And I'm going to do that same thing on the bottom. I'm just going to do a bubble. This one, I'm actually going to do a curve. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do kind of a little drip. So what I did is I went curved, I did a big curve, and then I curved up. I'm going to skip this one for now. And then I'm going to do another kind of bubble, do a curve and connect. My T, I'm going to have another bubble. And then this one, I might have another little drip kind of happening. So remember, I did a curve in, big curve down, curve in again, and connect. I'm probably going to do that same thing right here, the bottom of that T. So I did those curves, curved in, curved out. Alright, same thing with that R. I'm just going to do a big curve. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm almost going to kind of connect my R and A. So I'm going to do a curve, do a little drip. I'm going to do a bump. I'm going to do a bump on this side. And then I'm going to actually connect it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the inside. So I'm going to start with my A, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of little windows. So they're going to be two curves in. I'm going to do a curve up. This one's going to be kind of big because it's going to go over. And then I'm going to do a curve down. I'm going to do that same thing on the R. So I'm going to do two curves in. curve up and a curve down. Alright, so we're not quite done. Now I like, in my graffiti lettering, is I like to do a shadow. So how we're going to do that is I'm just going to come at the top of my A and I'm just going to follow my line. So what I did at the beginning, when I was making my graffiti lettering, it's basically the same thing. So I'm going to come on the bottom, I'm going to make a parallel line, and I'm just going to follow this around. You can do that on the inside. So I'm just going to come to the top and just follow it down. So it's almost like our calligraphy, where we made our fake calligraphy and we went down with every stroke. That's kind of the same thing that we're doing here. So make sure at the T, you do the same thing on the other side. So you guys can stop here, or you can keep going. Maybe I want another shadow, or maybe I want to actually connect everything and just kind of follow everything around. So do as many shadows as you want, do as little shadows as you want. You can connect them. So maybe I want to do that curve here like I did here. And you have your graffiti lettering. So you guys can stop here, or you can get some color into it, or you can decorate the background. Maybe think about where your graffiti is actually at. Is it on a brick wall? Is it hanging in a art gallery? You name it. So I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to color in my graffiti lettering. So I'm going to use color pencils for today. You guys can use markers, watercolor, whatever you guys have. So I'm just going to pause. And we're back. As you can tell, I colored in, I painted a little bit. So this is actually called a mixed media, is when you're using multiple art materials. So I use Sharpie, I use some color pencil, and I used watercolor for the background. So 4th grade, you might be wondering what this technique is called. 5th grade already knows it. It's called a gradient style, or different values. So I can show you guys this in the 4th grade project, but you guys can do whatever you want. As you can see, I used warm and cool colors. So I used the warm colors for my actual art, so the ART, and then the shadow and the filler, I used cool colors. So orange, complementary color to orange is blue. Complementary color to red is green. So kind of start thinking about what colors you want to use, and maybe think about those complementary colors. Maybe do the warm versus cool colors. Play around with it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Alright, and see you later.